How can you prevent this? Is there some way to, I mean, today what is happening to Karnataka and Himachal could well happen to the BJP ruled states as well. One trying to outdo the other in announcing sort of freebies. So is there any other solution to it? Could the EC intervene? Is there some kind of something that the judiciary could do?
Parties themselves will have to be a lot more responsible, looking at what they can fund and what they cannot. And if they want to fund it, it can't be at others' cost. I want to fund it, but Modi is not giving me the funds for it, is a bad logic.
You are talking about narrative setting. The opposition has accused you of jobless growth. They've talked about crony capitalism. Recently Rahul Gandhi in the US also says that your government has ignored manufacturing. How do you react to something like this?
It's very difficult to react to Rahul Gandhi, not because he says things with content. I think in spite of being, and despite becoming the leader of opposition, he's still talking as though he can be careless and just throw anything at the ruling party and get away with it. As a leader of opposition, unless he's going to acquire some, seriousness about the kind of issues he's talking, both in India and abroad, I'm sure the people of India also will become hopeless about him. I'm sure he doesn't want that.
He's also said that elections are not free but controlled. After his performance really was much better this elections, seats doubled to 99. How do you see that?
He wouldn't say that when he wins the election in some of the states. I'm sorry, Rahulji. Media seems to just do this business of asking questions of us. For all the inconsistencies, for all the hypocrisies, and for all the double speak, I'd like to see one day honest media asking questions of the Congress party. Don't tell me, don't shoot the messenger. Don't tell me we are only the messengers, we ask these questions. Not a day have I found any media having a serious conversation with Rahul Gandhi or any of the Congress party's leader. But that's not to say you're not capable of doing it. You're probably avoiding a situation where they will embarrass you and the rest of the media because they're going to just be on your face speaking falsehood. So this is what one has to expose about the Congress party. When results are in their favor, everything is good. When BJP wins the election, elections are not fair. Till before the election results came, Election Commission was accused. When the election results came and they just managed to touch 100 and nowhere were they together, able to reach to 40, that 100 excited them. Then the Election Commission is not wrong. Now, what are all these? Do you want to take a leader of opposition seriously or not? Does this country deserve a serious opposition? I thought the outcome of 2024 election was that the government of the day will have to get going with a lot more work. And the opposition was given a bit more stature with a decent number to go sit in the opposition and do the job of the opposition. No. We are excited about it and we'll go around the world speaking against the country. And somebody, of course, nowadays it's a world of social media. Everybody puts things out. Even Mrs. Gandhi wouldn't want to do it outside the country. Here we go, but we sit and accuse the country for everything going out.
Speaking of people in social media talking against the country, do you, Nirmala ji, feel that there is some kind of, you sense some kind of international conspiracy to bring down the Modi government?
All over the world, there is this attempt to change regimes. All over the world. This year particularly, you see there are 50 countries going, 48 to 50 countries going to the election.
Yes.
The narrative in each of the country is this. Everybody who's in serious politics, running political parties, are all saying, are we having our democratic process working within this country? Or are we having democratic processes being influenced by something else? Or when you say something else or somebody else, it's not a direct participation. There are people within their respective countries who play this role happily. But that is where I think democracies will have to now look at how to handle this situation in a more matured fashion.
Thank you, Nirmala ji. I'll just move to equity markets. A bike showroom recently the IPO of a bike showroom was oversubscribed 400 times. that of a mattress company was oversubscribed 1,000 times. The equity markets today are at an all-time high. What is your view on the state of play of equity markets today, and what is your advice to day traders?
Well, I'll first of all say we'll have to encourage the markets to be robust, no doubt. But particularly when speculative activities are too much, there needs to have a sense of caution in our minds. We need to have it. And we also need to make sure that people with their savings don't go to engage in high fluctuating or high risk ventures. No harm in participating in F&O, or no harm in going and investing in the equity market. But eventually, we need to be using financial information, authentic information, before we take a call.
I asked this question with a little bit of care. I think that, I sense that the RBI is concerned about the lending spree by, these fintech companies. I also see SEBI concerned about discount brokers, zero broking. So in that context, is there some kind of a bubble building up? Is there irrational exuberance happening?
That's exactly what the SEBI referred to, and I've also remotely once mentioned about it. There needs to be a bit of caution on it. But that's not to suffocate the market. That's not to suffocate people who want to go and engage themselves there. It's not at all to suffocate, but it also is a note of caution so that people don't end up losing money, which they don't go to actually, but understand the full risk and then engage.
Okay. Finance Minister, Ms. Madhuri Puri Bhuj was one of the rare pedigreed professionals from the private sector who got drafted into the government, into this regulatory role as SEBI chairman. What is your assessment of the situation involving Madhuri Puri Bhuj?
Well, I think quite a few of the allegations are being answered by her and by her husband, I think also. Yes. Both of them together are defending themselves and putting out facts to contradict those which are being alleged by the Congress party. So I think the facts will have to be taken on board.
And are you satisfied with her answers?
Well, I'm not here to judge that.
Okay. A question that everyone wants an answer from you. Can income tax payers expect a lowering of income tax rates? The middle class has been expecting this. Directionally, how do you see this going forward? When will the internal committee's report on the review of Income Tax Act be ready?
Rahul, I want to take this opportunity to explain a few things.
Sure.
Since 2019, the attempt has been to simplify the direct taxation. The attempt has been to make sure that we make the whole process simpler, and that is why after much of a discussion, a new regime was brought in, wherein right from the beginning, the rates were kept low. And we gave the option to the assessees that if they want with exemption a regime, so that they think they've made long-term plans for, taking insurance cover or for the EMI, and therefore they need their exemptions, they could continue with the old scheme. The new scheme was without any exemptions. It was first without standard deduction, and later again, when we heard people's voices, we brought in the standard deduction as well. Now, during the vote on account, again, a lot of consultation, not widely as much as the whole, general budget time consultations happen. But July budget, we had again had a lot of discussions and brought the rates down for middle class. In fact, people with higher income brackets were pushed up towards the lower rates.
Right.
Not one rate was increased. Yes. And the standard deduction for the new regime was increased from 50 to 75,000. So if anything, keeping the middle class in mind, Honorable Prime Minister had in July budget said that the rates be brought down and more slightly higher income also get covered under the lesser rates. So keeping in mind the middle class is what we have done through the new regime, both in terms of increasing the standard deduction and in terms of bringing the rates down.